So much stuff. So much stuff. I don't even know where to start right now. Do we start with the video games? Do we start with the Blu-rays? Do we start with the retro 80s and 90s toys? There's actually too much to do this in one video. So I'm going to break this up in a couple different videos. We hit up a lot of thrift stores this week. We found a lot of really cool stuff. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe if you want to see the next couple ones I've got coming up too. We hit the Cabbage Patch doll jackpot at a couple of the thrift stores. I haven't seen them in a long time, and all of a sudden we just found a ton of cool ones. And so I'm gonna have to make a whole separate video on that. Also, we found a jackpot of $1 Blu-rays. I didn't buy them all, but I bought a lot because I already had a lot of them. But there were some really cool things hidden in some of those, and one of them actually has a video game hidden inside. So subscribe and we'll get those ones out here pretty quick, and you can watch those as well. But for today, we found a lot of cool video game stuff. I found some old retro toys, some 70s toys. I found a lot of good Blu-rays, found some 3D Blu-rays. We picked up a really cool video game console as well. Had a lot of cool stuff on it. So let's go ahead and get started. There's a lot to get through here. Why don't we go ahead and just start with the 70s toys. I found a couple Fisher-Price toys from the 1970s. This plane is 1970 dated on it. So this is really old, really old. This is over 50 years old. And you know what? It's got a couple, this one actually has a broken tail piece too. So it's a little beat up, but it was $1. So I picked this up because these actually go for $25 to $40 a piece. But we had a lot of little people stuff growing up. This brought back some cool memories. If I decide to sell it, I can make a little money on it. You know, people are always, it's highly sought after, these little wooden little people. Their heads are wood. Some of them are plastic. But those are always something that's I haven't seen in a while, but this was a cool find. Also found this other Fisher-Price van, this little camper. I thought somebody had just stuck like a hair thing on it, but then I saw other ones that had it, so I think it actually held the luggage on. This was also $1. These go for about 30 to 40 bucks too. Just a cool thing. I feel like they don't make toys as good as they used to. Obviously, this thing I think was dated 1977. It's almost 50 years old. I mean, I don't know. The toys nowadays, you're lucky if they last a year or two. And I feel like the toys that they used to make were just more fun than they are now. And I'm sure it's because of lawsuits and other child safety requirements on toys or whatever. But man, they built these things to last. These things took a beating. We had these toys growing up and they are still getting handed down. They're like an heirloom almost. But anyways, those were some cool 70s toys. All right, let's jump into some of the Blu-rays that we picked up. These are $2 ones. I'm going to save the $1 ones for another video. But these are $2 Blu-rays. I only pick them up if they look like almost new, if they're like really good and not scratched at all. But got Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked. We've got the Lorax. Got Captain America Winter Soldier 3D Blu-ray. That was a find right there. I can't wait to watch this one. I grabbed it and didn't even realize at first that it was the 3D Blu-ray. So that's awesome for the 3D Blu-ray collection. Pitch Perfect 3, brand new sealed. Why would I have gotten this one? Why? Well, I actually filmed in this movie, so I picked it up. I've never watched it. I need to see if you even see me in it. But I'll put a little picture up here real quick and you can see what I looked like. But yeah, they travel around, I guess, to some military bases and sing to all the soldiers, and I'm one of those guys in there. So anyway, so I picked it up. Maybe I can actually watch it this time. So, all right, we've got the Peanuts movie. My kids saw it. I never saw it, but I actually kind of want to see what it's like. Shrek Forever After. We didn't have this one. I had all the other ones, but for some reason didn't have that one. Monsters University. This is a classic. And again, these were all $2. And I think $2 is a good deal for Blu-ray because almost all of them come with the DVD as well. And so there's a lot of times you actually might need the DVD if you need to just put it in the car that only takes DVDs and not Blu-rays or different things. So Brave, picked up Brave. this is one that my son wants to watch because he's getting ready to go to Scotland, and I guess this either takes place in Scotland or Ireland. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but a lot of my family history comes from there, so that'll be fun to watch. Night at the Museum, I've got all these movies on DVD, but not on Blu-ray, so that was a good one. And then I got a couple Avengers that I can stick in the camper, and one more. This one, for some reason, was priced at $3, but one more 3D Blu-ray. This one is Enchanted Kingdom 3D. I have no idea what this is, but it's 3D, so I want to watch it. There's some more movies, but we'll come back to those. Let's jump into the video game stuff we found this week. So I did find an Xbox 360 console with some controllers. Now, it was in a bag and they put them in the case, and people hadn't, I don't know why they hadn't picked this one up yet. It was priced at $50. It was an Xbox 360 Slim. I kind of steer away from the original Xbox 360s just because of that whole red ring of death. And it seems like almost every one of those consoles ends up getting it, and then you got to send it off and have somebody fix it if they can even fix it. And I saw one and it was $20 also in the case. And I was like, maybe, but am I okay with buying it for $20 just to have it as kind of a decoration? So I didn't get that one. But the $50 one was the Xbox Slim. Those are a lot more reliable. But what's funny is the last couple we've bought have had loads of games on them, saved on them. And this one came with 3 controllers. It had the power supply and the console, and it looked really clean. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. And brought it back, started to open it up, and I realized that one of the controllers in it was brand new. It'd never been used. And I was like, okay, well, that right there is worth about 60, 70 bucks just by itself. So that was a score. I could sell this controller and it would cover the cost of what I paid for it. I'm just really hesitant. It's hard to find these new anymore. And a lot of the ones that are out there are pretty dinged up and like missing a lot of the pieces on the control, on the little pads here. And so anyway, so that was a score. Then we got it and we plugged it up, and it had over 150 games saved on it. We're like, whoa. Now, granted, a lot of those were just game demos, but I don't think you can even get the game demos anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong, let me know, but it's pretty fun to just even go through and play all the different game demos. And that was probably about half of them maybe. And then there's a few you can't play unless you're online, but there was so many that we could play I was like, that's worth it right there just to have all those other ones. Now this Xbox 360 that we got this last time in my last video, that one had over 20 games saved on it. And so we've been having fun playing the game. So it's almost like guys are feeling like, oh, these aren't worth 20 or 30 bucks. But I'm like, man, if you're picking them up and they've got all these games saved on them and you can play those games, that's a steal. That's a great deal. So that was a score. I feel like that was a good score. So then picked up, we had a coupon, and I used part of that coupon for a few things, and it was at Savers, and I got this one was $5.99. It's an Xbox 360 controller, and it had a 40% off coupon, so it was a little over $3. Let's open it up. I think my thing just fell. All right, so let's go ahead and open this one up. Oh, it's buttons feel okay for a few bucks. I think it was probably worth it. It came with this Energizer chargeable battery pack. I don't have the charger for that, so what I've done in the past is you can buy some of these battery pack covers on Amazon, and they're usually pretty cheap. Get them in black, or you can get them in white, like I have on this controller. I ordered a replacement for that one, and I'm trying to figure out if this controller is just dirty or if it's a different color. I think it's actually a different color than the white one. Did that come in a different pack, or is it just dirty? I don't know. So one of the cool videos I've got coming up here is my Garbage Pail Kids cards and some of the little bit of collection I have on those. I got Garbage Pail Kid cards in the 80s as a kid. My parents would run to the store and get them early in the morning when the gas station would restock, and I had so much fun opening those things. So I want to go through some of that, but I may just have one of the rarest Garbage Pail Kid cards there is. So you'll have to watch for that. You're going to have to decide. Let me know. Is it one you've ever seen before? It's one I personally got as a kid, and I think it's really cool. We'll talk about the Garbage Pail Kid movie and everything else, but it's fun. I'll open up a few of these packs. This one's still got the gum in it. I may even just eat the gum. We'll see. And there's some different series packs and 7th series. Did you know that there was Nintendo trading cards back in 1989? There were also trash can trolls. Y'all remember the trolls from back in the 80s? That was a big thing back in the 80s. Now, of course, they have the new movies and the new trolls, but back then trolls were huge. Obviously, Garbage Pail Kids were making fun of the Cabbage Patch dolls. That's one I had as a kid. These are a couple of the other ones that I picked up at the thrift store. But these trash can trolls are pretty funny as well. Let's find some of those. We'll open up some of those in a future video as well. But fun stuff. Super fun. Oh yeah, and here's my 2 cards. Did you all have a card with your name on it? That was one. Handy Randy and Wrinkly Randy. That's a jumbo card, or a giant card, I think they call it. I have a handful of those that I got too. Those were fun. And I didn't get too many of the Series 1 cards. It's kind of like they gained popularity after that, and so it was more like Series 3 and on. But the jumbo or giant cards were Series 1. So anyways, those are my 2 cards. Did y'all have a card with your name on it? Some people were kind of offended by those things, but oh my goodness, we had so much fun with those out on the playground as a kid back in the 80s. So I can't wait for this Garbage Pail Kid card video to come out for y'all. It's going to be fun. All right, so back to a few of the video game things we picked up. I have been on a Xbox 360 Kinect video game spree lately. We are having so much fun with that thing. It is fun. And here's a few cool ones we picked up this week. Most of the time we get them for $1 to $3. This one right here, Wipeout. We have been laughing so hard playing this game. It has been so funny. Me and the kids have been playing it. I don't know if y'all saw this show back when they used to have it and people would just get flung all over the place. Well, it's the same thing, but it is just so fun. It's hilarious. Picked up another Zumba. I've always kind of thought Zumba was a little weird, and I probably kind of still do. No offense, but the game it's a little like it's kind of similar to like Dance Dance Revolution or something. It's like kind of dance party type, but it's a workout. My girls have been trying it out, and they've actually been getting a pretty good workout with it. It's pretty fun too, pretty funny. Hole in the wall. This is where you have that cutout that's coming at you, and you got to try to make the same shape as the cutout. And so that one is really fun too. We've been having a lot of fun with that one. And then Top Hand Rodeo. This one was cool. You can do bull riding and roping and mounted shooting and barrel racing. My daughter actually barrel races in real life, and so this was kind of funny to see that. Them trying to actually do it on this. We had a lot of fun with it. Also found some more Xbox 360 games. We're just having a blast with the Xbox 360, and so we're kind of going with it. But got Halo 3. Now these were all $5, but I had a 40% off coupon, and so it makes it a great deal. So Halo 3, which supposedly Halo 3, that's the one everybody likes. I played Halo 1 when it came out. I loved it. Didn't, kind of by the time the Xbox 360 came out and these were all coming out, I you know, I'm taking care of kids, and my wife and I are trying to like raise the little kids, and I didn't really play those. But I'm excited to go back and try those. Halo Reach for the Xbox 360. Halo 4 for the Xbox 360. This one actually has 2 discs in it. And then Guitar Hero 5. Now, this was the most expensive one for $5, but this one goes for a little bit more. I think I could sell it and probably make 10 or 15 bucks on it if I wanted to. Let's jump into a couple of the Blu-ray players. I'd like to pick up these 3D Blu-ray players. I mess around with some of them and see which ones I think I like better than the others, and then I'm oftentimes to pick them up anywhere from $5 to $8. What's really frustrating is the thrift stores are now, they get them with the remote, with the HDMI cable, with the power cable, and then the thrift stores taking the power cable. Well, a lot of times they'll leave the power cable, but sometimes they're taking that off even. But they'll take the HDMI cord off, they'll sell it separate. They'll take the remote and they'll sell it separate, and then you're just trying to piece it together. It's frustrating. So anytime I can find them together for 10 bucks, that's great. And a lot of them I've been able to sell for, you know, 35 to 50 bucks, depending on the condition and depending what it is. And then I'm able to keep some of them to use on our 3D TVs. Here was another one. This was a nice Sony. This was a nice Sony 3D Blu-ray player. For a while there, we had some regular Blu-ray players that were Sony, and they kept dying on us. And so I've had pretty good luck with these 3D ones from Sony so far. A couple other movies I picked up. I'm always trying to find some, you know, some 80s cartoons or old 80s and 90s movies. Did find the G.I. Joe. So that's a good one. Personally, I was more of a Transformers guy. I liked the Transformers and He-Man. I still like G.I. Joe, but those were my two. What about you guys? Did you guys like G.I. Joe more? Or, you know, there's so many iconic 80s cartoons out there. As far as like action figure ones, He-Man and Transformers were for me. I did have some G.I. Joe.
Don't answer it.
Hello.
Picked up a couple of the 3-packs. This is the Star Wars 1, 2, and 3 Blu-ray. Also Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. Also got Wonder Woman 4K. I have this on Blu-ray, but not in 4K, and so that was a good find. I don't usually see too many 4K movies at the thrift store. I was really excited for the Wonder Woman 1984. The trailer came out and had this awesome 80s music, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so full of 80s goodness. And and then there was nothing in the movie. It was like there was some 80s stuff for sure, but no music. They could have, I mean, they could have had the best soundtrack ever. Why they had it in the trailer but not actually in the movie, I don't know. So that was kind of disappointing. But I did get that one in 3D Blu-ray, and that one looks pretty cool in 3D Blu-ray too. So anyways, that's Wonder Woman. All right, and then I just picked up one of these. I don't actually have an HD DVD player, and as many of you know, when the high definition movies were first coming out, there was this battle between HD DVD, which I believe was Toshiba, and then Blu-ray, which was Sony. And you could go to the store, and I still have memories of going to Best Buy and seeing there was a whole rack of the HD DVD and a whole rack of the Blu-ray, and Blu-ray won out. So they went out, no more HD DVD. I really just wanted to have one of these just to show y'all. If you see these red cases that say HD DVD, these will not work on your Blu-ray player, just so you know. Most of y'all probably already know that. Always looking for the 3D movies. I found the Shrek 3D. This is the actual DVD. It's not a Blu-ray, and this was meant to be played on a regular TV. And I think it's actually, you know, we watched it on our modern big TV, and it's, you know, I don't think it's necessarily meant for one of those type of TVs. I would love to watch this on an older TV or even like a CRT type TV. And this one, I picked it up. It actually had a pair of the glasses in it, which was cool. It originally came with 4 pairs of glasses. You know, this one has a name written on it. People write their names on these things. And I had some of them like this one I picked up where they had put their address label on it, on everything. And it's like, man, Were they taking them to the grocery store with them, and in case they lost them, somebody could return it? I don't know. But a little bit of goof off on these will help clean them up. You just leave a little goof off on the sticker residue and then kind of gently wipe it off. As far as like these permanent markers, as long as it's on the plastic, some rubbing alcohol or one of these magic erasers, they just do a great job to get that off the plastic part. Now, if they've written on the paper, it's, I don't know, it's pretty much impossible to get it off of there. Also picked up Cars, Mater's Tall Tales. So didn't have that one, that's fun. And my kids loved these movies. They loved the Stuart Little movies, and this is 1 and 2 for $2. So that was a good one. We used to have it, got rid of it. I think a lot of our DVDs got really scratched up from the kids when they were little. A couple little items for $1. Got this Hulk lenticular that's trying to fall off the wall here. And a lot of times people actually collect these little Super Mario World plushes. And so if you can find them, especially with the tags on them, those are pretty easy sell if you're trying to sell them. People really like them. This one was really clean, the little Yoshi. That was $1. So last week I ordered a 3D Blu-ray Green Hornet from Target. And I said it over and over again, I get really frustrated when they ship them in a bubble envelope. This one got crushed. So I did a return exchange. They resent it to me, and they sent it this time in one of these little cardboard envelopes. So let's open it up, see if it looks any different. I thought it survived. Same thing, cracked here and cracked here. And the disc is loose in it. It's kind of frustrating, you know, you really can't get these without having them shipped to you. And if they just shipped it in a box, it would be fine. And instead, I'm going to do multiple returns, and they're going to lose money because they put it in an envelope. So anyways, I've got a bunch of these new sealed ones. I'll do an opening video on those. We'll go through and see what they all look like. But 2 for $2, both of them damaged on arrival. Okay. These right here, I was able to get with a 40% off coupon. This brings back a lot of memories for me as a kid. Cool blades. Rollerblading was huge back in the late 80s and 90s. We all had rollerblades. We were always playing street hockey out in the street. We were taking our rollerblades everywhere. There was a sweet spot we had behind the movie theater where we could roll the stairs and do some rails, and we were always doing some crazy stuff. The cool blades. I had a pair of cool blades that came out. These, I think they were 1990. I had the gray ones. These are the gold ones, and they had these cool multicolored straps on them. I had some different ones before this that were laced, and this iconic brake. Did y'all have that brake? We always took it off and had no brakes, and so we were just kind of doing a side skid to stop. And this one has the original wheels on it. They were $15, but I had a 40% off coupon, and you know, people pay 50 to 70 bucks for these online, and a lot of it depends on the size. I bought a retro pair of blades last year, and I just wanted to kind of relive my childhood with them, and they literally, like, when they got to me, one of the straps was already broken because it was so brittle. I put them on and they kind of fell apart. So some of these are more just for looks now, but a lot of people still want them to kind of try them out again and see. I looked through I couldn't find my 1990 Sears catalog. I did find 1991 JCPenney Christmas catalog. Do y'all remember these? These were, you know, as a kid, you'd get these and you'd flip through and you'd try to find what you wanted for Christmas. There was also like clothes and other things, but there was toys. And I looked up the rollerblades. I actually had this pair of rollerblades right here. These were so cool. And but I didn't see the cool blades in here. And then I pulled up my 1992 and I looked at some of the rollerblades in there. You know, the 90s were all about the cool teal and pinks and neon colors. The ski coats were all about that as well. And so maybe we should do a video going through some of these old catalogs. Those are kind of fun. But back in the 80s and 90s, you'd get these Christmas catalogs and you could just look all through them and pick out what toys you wanted for Christmas and tell your parents what you wanted. Obviously, this was days before the internet. So that was how we did our Christmas shopping when we weren't at the store. For that Xbox 360, I found another Kinect. Just in case I end up, you know, one of my kids takes it with them or we end up selling it or whatever, we'll have a Kinect to go with it. Picked up a couple of these GameStop controllers for the GameCube. I've got an old GameCube that I picked up out of a shed that on a property that we had purchased, and it had been sitting in there for years and years and years. It had a roof, but it leaked, and this thing is rough looking, but I'm gonna see if we can get it working again. So watch for that. I need some GameCube controllers for it. Obviously they're not the name brand ones. I see these GameStop ones, they pop up at the thrift store all the time. Sometimes they're $1, sometimes they're $7. I don't know how they figure their prices. I think on eBay they sell for 12 to 15 bucks. So here's the last couple big ticket items. Pretty heavy. So let me see if I can pick this up. My wife is always looking through the kitchen appliance and kitchen section and finding different little vintage kitchen things or even current things that are way cheap, that are worth a lot. And she uses them and sometimes she sells them. All right, so here is a KitchenAid mixer. This is the artesian. This is the bigger one. And these go for $400 or $500 new, but used, people are still paying 150, 200 bucks for them. This one was 60. We had a coupon, so we actually got it cheaper than that. And sometimes just the bowls and accessories are worth a lot. So sometimes they leak, and there's some gears in there that you can rebuild and some seals if you have to. And sometimes they work great right off the bat. But these are highly sought after. If you ever see those are a good thing to pick up. My wife actually uses them. She bakes a lot of bread and makes a lot of cookies, and you know, so she uses these things a lot. We have several KitchenAids, but that's a good find. Bread makers can sometimes be a good one. This one was $7. Some thrift stores want 50 bucks for them, and some are giving them away for $5. Kind of have to pick through them. This one had all the paperwork in it, and it looked like it had been hardly used, so that's a good one. Some of them are abused and just on their last leg, and you know, baking and making bread is popular now, so people are looking for these. My wife uses them. She has multiple bread makers, so those are always a good thing to pick up if you see them. All right, this was my score for the week. A Blockbuster DVD case. I've been looking for one of these for a while. I have always been wanting to get one of the VHS ones, and I've never seen one. People have them, but they want a lot of money for them. I just wanted that for the looks. I miss Blockbuster. That was always a fun thing for us to do on the weekend, was to go pick out our movie. Started out as VHS, then it became DVDs, and then, you know, there's only one Blockbuster left, and I miss those days. Blockbuster and Hollywood Video. Those were the two that we would always go to. Well, that was a lot of fun. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I've got these other videos coming out, some of our other hauls, and also some of my 80s videos that we've digitalized. I've got those always coming out. And what are some of the things that y'all are looking for at the thrift store? What is it that you go in on the hunt for? Or do you just kind of go in looking for anything that interests you, or anything you can make a buck on? Sometimes I'm going in with my mindset that I'm looking for one thing and I'm overlooking others. And sometimes I'm kind of going in with an open mind and I come out with some cool stuff because I'm kind of taking the, you know, the time to look. So that was a lot of fun. Stay tuned for my next haul video and some of my future 80s goodness. Take care.